Picture this scenario. It's 2040, Mars Base Alpha. An American contractor gets into a heated argument over oxygen rations and stabs a French colleague. The victim is dead. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Who arrests him? The FBI? The French gendarmerie? Space cops? The answer might terrify you. Potentially, no one. Welcome to the Wild West 2.0. In the last 5 episodes, we talked about how to make money in space. But today, we're talking about the only thing that protects that money, the law. Right now, space is a massive power vacuum. And as history shows, where there is no law, there is violence and the rise of godfathers. Our entire legal framework for space is built on the Outer Space Treaty of 1967. It basically says no nation can claim sovereignty over celestial bodies. That sounds peaceful, like the Antarctic Treaty. But here's the problem. It was written when only governments had rockets. It didn't account for Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or trillion-dollar conglomerates. Currently, we operate under maritime law. If you are on a U.S. ship, you follow U.S. law. But what happens when you step off the ship and onto Martian soil? That isn't U.S. territory. That is Terra Nullius, no man's land. A shark of a lawyer could argue that his client committed no crime because on Mars, there are no laws to break. We almost had our first space criminal case in 2019 involving allegations of unauthorized bank access from the ISS. It was settled quietly, but that was back when astronauts were highly vetted government employees. When space tourism opens the floodgates to millions of regular people, chaos isn't just possible, it's guaranteed. This is where it gets interesting and dystopian. Earth's governments are too slow and too broke to police Mars. So who steps in? The corporations. You need to stop thinking of Samsung, Google, or SpaceX as companies. Start thinking of them as corporate nations. Think this is sci-fi? Look at history. The British East India Company had a private army twice the size of the British Royal Army. They minted their own currency, had their own courts, and ruled millions. An Elon Musk figure on Mars isn't a CEO. He's the modern equivalent of a colonial governor-general. Why would Google or Tesla need an army? Simple. Asset protection. A fuel refinery on the moon is a $500 billion asset. Do you trust the NYPD to protect it from 200,000 miles away? No. You hire private military contractors, mercenaries, to guard your investment. On Mars, the corporation provides your oxygen, your water, your food, and your internet. If you go on strike, they cut the air. If you break company policy, they dock your pay or airlock you. The power of a CEO in space is indistinguishable from that of a king. In this world, the Constitution doesn't exist. The only thing protecting you is the terms of service. You aren't a citizen, you are a user. Your human rights are determined by your subscription tier. Sound familiar? Welcome to the cyberpunk reality. What happens when 2 rival corps find the same ice deposit? There's no Supreme Court to settle this quickly. The solution? Sabotage. A drone accidentally crashes into a rival's equipment. The first space war won't be fought with nukes. It will be fought with plausible deniability. Do you think the UN will intervene? How? Sending a subpoena to Mars takes 20 minutes for the signal to travel, and sending a police force takes 6 months and $200 billion. Earth will be powerless against self-sustaining, resource-rich colonies. We are looking at a return to feudalism. Instead of lords and serfs, we have CEOs and indentured servants. To pay for a $500,000 ticket to Mars, you might have to sign a contract to work for free for 20 years. That is just slavery with extra steps. It's not just guns. The real weapon is data. If a corporation controls the communication satellites between Mars and Earth, they control the narrative. They can cut comms, rewrite history, and manipulate Earth's stock markets just by withholding information. So, where is the money? Look at space insurance and private security. When laws are loose, the demand for asset protection skyrockets. These are the high-growth sectors for your long-term portfolio. Now, the optimists will say I'm being too cynical. They believe the free market will self-correct. Corporations need talent, so they will compete to offer the best living conditions and fair laws to attract engineers. It becomes a competition of governance as a service. Another possibility, the formation of an independent international police force funded by corporate taxes to maintain order, like Interpol but with spaceships, a space NATO designed to prevent corporate warfare. Eventually, history will repeat itself. At some point, the people living on Mars, whether they work for Google or SpaceX, will ask, why are we taking orders from Earth? And that is when the war for independence begins, not between nations, but between planets. The future of space law is at a crossroads. On one side, the chaos of the law of the jungle. On the other, the cold order of corporate totalitarianism. We, as investors and voters, are setting the rules of this game right now. So, I'll leave you with this. If a murder happens on Mars tomorrow, who do you want holding the gun? The US government or Elon Musk's private security? Let me know in the comments. I know you have an opinion on this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to SpaceBiz. Next week, we're following the money again in Episode 7, Space Real Estate, a $1 trillion bubble or gold mine.